Okay, I think this is take two. I hope people find it. I was live and then I wasn't live. And what happened was my laptop just randomly rebooted. Not even a Windows forced update or anything. Hey, Batman Sport, look, I'm back. Hope everyone gets back across here. We were just kicking off, and my laptop just full on went, I'm going to reboot now. And just no warning. It wasn't forced. Uh, uh, wasn't a forced Windows update. It's just like, no, switching off, switching back on. Hey, David. Yes, thank you. We were having a lot of conversations about Blackadder. Plan so cunning, outfoxed a fox that was educated at the school of cunning. Yes, all the silly wordplay in Blackadder stuff was always popular. Hey, James, how's it going? And Sean, you're back too. Yes, I'm hoping we were just starting to build up in the other live stream, and my friggin' laptop goes, oh, I'm going to reboot now. That'll be good. That'll be good. It's good timing. It's good timing. It's good timing if I reboot. I'll do that. Yeah. So hopefully my internet doesn't fuck up, because that happened last time I tried to do a live stream. My internet just fucking died, and then was really unstable for like half an hour, so I can come back. And hello, Catherine. Yeah, at least it wasn't an update. David, did I like Thin Blue Line? Grimm's rants were epic. I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about there. Yeah, nobody. I have no idea if that was a Windows problem or the laptop fucked up. Hey, Game Frost, good to see you back. I don't know if it was just like some temporary glitch to the power supply, but there was no warning. There was no, oh, there's an error. We have to restart. My screen just went black, and then it was like reboot, 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 reboot. Yes, Sean Higgins, I did actually see the Errol Morris documentary. For those who don't know, the thin blue line is a reference to the police are protecting us, because the most common color of police uniform in the world is blue, at least blue shirt. And it's like the police are called the thin blue line that protects us from anarchy. That gets complicated when the police themselves are the ones breaking the law, when they're doing bad things. And that's what the Errol Morris documentary, Thin Blue Line's about. It's about a wrongful conviction. Batman Sport, have I ever thought about making a movie or scripted web series? Yes. Yes, I have. I even pitched one year to try and get funding from Arts Australia, Film Australia. They were offering money to YouTubers, and it was going to serialize AIDS's story, Code Grey. But I keep thinking I should do a web series, actually. It's not that difficult to do, not that easy either. But yeah, I think it's something that would be worth doing. Although the weirdest thing is, of course, there's, and it's interesting you say that, Pat Man, because the Melbourne Web Fest is coming up soon. And every year when that comes around, I go, oh yeah, maybe I should. So I've gone to Webfest and watched the web series in competition in it, and I know production values when I see one. So I know how hard people have worked. Just by looking at the end product, I can tell how hard people worked. And looking at some of the stuff that's in Webfest, it's like mind blowing. Like, oh my God, I know how much fucking work you put into this and nobody's seeing it. It's like art house films. People slog their guts out making a short film or even a feature film, the festival circuit, and they work really hard and often produce really good work and seen by so few people. But yes, it's very full on. Sean, you're working on a web series. Good on you. Get the creative juices flowing. Yeah. Oh, David, so, okay. Thin Blue Line was a Ben Elton series starring Rowan Atkinson. I did not see that. No. I might try and look out for it. Hey, Will, how are you doing? Hopefully, I'm at least my web stream's stable. I'm not claiming to be stable myself. I'm just hoping the web stream's stable. Last week, I had problem with my internet. And I haven't had. This is the weird thing. I only had internet connectivity problem. During that live stream. I don't think I've had any other internet connectivity problems all week. And tonight, just when I was sort of hitting my stride with the live stream, my fucking laptop rebooted. So hopefully we'll have neither internet problems nor any more laptop problems. We'll just cruise on by for, I don't know, hour and a half. What do you think I'm more stable than you? You can tell. You can tell. Will, glad you're well. I'm fairly well. Thank you very much. I've been to the physio tonight. As I started slightly, as I always complain in the live stream, my shoulder's buggered. I had a physio appointment. I can sort of, where do I feel it? It's like, no, actually, because the physio's been working on it. I can do all these things and it doesn't hurt. But I can't bend it up behind as far as I can my left arm. But yes. David, blame Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby Joyce does not seem to accept blame very well. Everyone else is at fault with Barnaby. James, what are my thoughts on the Banking Royal Commission? I haven't been keeping pace, but it certainly shows that it was required. The amount of profound wrongdoing that's been uncovered so far by the Banking Royal Commission is amazing. Like, we all say banks are bastards, but they're really bastards. Nobody? No, I have not collapsed recently, so I hope you're okay if that happened to you. Benny, Midnight Oil. Yeah, dude, I'm old. I was a fan of oils back in the day. It's interesting that doco on Midnight Oil 1984's just come out. I haven't seen it, but that's when I actually saw them live. I saw them live twice, I think, because I was living in the country, not in the city, so I couldn't see them that often. But it was like 83, 84 when I saw them live. So I'm kind of interested in that doco because that's about the time I was seeing them live. Well, yes, I've seen Deadpool 2. Thought it was lots of fun. Probably even more enjoyable than the first one, and I really like the first one. Sure, no, I didn't see your description for Unsane. Got as far as it was a Steven Soderbergh film. I Resonated Sin, that's a fun backwards way to find Paul Kelly. You found Paul Kelly through AB Original. I think some people might have found AB Original through Paul Kelly. It's kind of interesting that you found Paul Kelly, who's been around for decades, because he did do that Triple J like a version collaboration with AB Original, a version of Dumb Things with AB Original rapping over it, which was quite good. Oh, dude, that's not good. Having a bit of a meltdown, 10 minutes on the floor, gasping for air. Let's look on the positives. You're up now. That's why I think this was always AIDS's thing of being sick, and in fact, in AIDS's case, dying. But it's how many times you get up that counts. Getting knocked down sucks. There's is not a good thing. But what counts is you're able to get back up. Oh, okay, Sean, that's what Unsane's about. A woman gets stalked and harassed, goes to a support group, is involuntarily committed, and a stalker may be working there. Ooh, psychological thriller. Ooh, damn. Will Hart, yes, I saw Solo too. And I think Solo's pretty good. I enjoyed Solo. Peter, oh yes. I did see tour of utter fuckwits, Stefan Molyneux and Lauren Southern coming to Australia. What a pair of fuckwits. I mean, this is where this will make me unpopular with some lefties. I don't actually advocate for stopping either of them entering the country. Some people saying they shouldn't be allowed to enter the country. That's not something I'm going to advocate for, but I'm 1,000,000% behind anyone who fucking protesting the events they may have and pointing out to attendees of the events, you're filthy racist scum. Because yes, both Stephen Molyneux and Laura Southern are lying fucking scumbags. Oh, Sean. Yeah, that's interesting. Unsane is shot on an iPhone. I suppose you can shoot pretty high. That's the thing. Soderbergh likes to experiment, doesn't he? Oh, wow. James, that's a big lineup. The Oils, Steve Earle and Paul Kelly at the Perth Entertainment Centre back in the 90s. Peter Thrupp, you find it hilarious that Snoop Dogg and Tyler the Creator are drugs, man, and convictions, felony convictions for violence. Like, because Snoop was on a fucking murder trial at one point, and that's the thing. Molyneux and Southern might be scum fucks. I'm not sure they've been convicted of any crimes. Oh, that's it. Okay, so shot on 4K in an iPhone, but using lens attachments on an iPhone. iPhones shoot really quite amazing footage. Yeah, and if you got tricky with lens attachments, yeah, who knows what you do. Okay, I'm probably going to look out for Unsane. I don't know if it's showing anywhere around. Although, if I remember, that was one of the things you were complaining about, that it opened in the US and Europe like a month before Australia. Benny, I am a bit of a believer in let fuck be focused. Like, people always ask me about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is full of shit. Jordan Peterson is a stupid person's idea of a smart person. Okay, strictly speaking, Jordan Peterson's very well educated and he's capable of being thoughtful and intelligent, but he's devolved down this demagogue drain pipe where he's just talking utter shit to be popular. And it's really fucking creepy that he seems to have political aspirations as well, because he is really, really coming across as a creepy cult-like demagogue who talks ridiculous amounts of shit. Hey, Charlie, how are you? But yeah, but I mean, I think people say like, Jordan Peterson gets taken out of. No. I think I've seen it multiple times with Jordan Peterson. Just let him keep talking, and he's going to say progressively more stupid things. The longer you let him talk, the more stupid he's going to be. Peter, you think Tyler was just because of his music? See, I don't know. I don't know. You may be right, because I know Tyler the Creator's older music was very misogynistic and violent. I'm not sure if he had any criminal shit. Hey, we're on the internet. Let's find out. I'll do a quick search on Tyler the Creator crimes. He said misdemeanor charges of inciting a riot. And he's banned from the UK. Okay. What else happened with our man Tyler? Controversies. I'm looking at his Wikipedia entry. Yes, accused of homophobia, violence against women, misogynistic. Yes, I knew he had all that in his lyrics. Okay, so his most severe actual legal problem was being arrested for inciting a riot by geeing up his crowd too much. So, yeah, banning him from the UK and Australia seems a little bit extreme. Yeah. Big Mac, Tommy Robinson. That's the original bloody heading for my live stream was Free Tony Robinson, Baldrick's innocent. I am almost definitely making a video tomorrow about Tommy Robinson to point out a few simple truths. And at the simplest level, Tommy Robinson is vile, disgusting, racist filth, and anyone who defends him is also disgusting filth. No equivocation, no grey area, no excuses for anyone. Anyone who defends him for a second is fucking scum. But to the specifics of him being arrested and all the filthy, disgusting, lying sacks of shit who applaud his racist message and say, oh, it's free speech, oh, protecting pedophiles. No, for those who don't know what Tommy Robinson did, he was already, he'd been convicted of like contempt of court, was on a suspended sentence for doing the same thing. It's basically some Muslim guys are on trial for sex offences, and Tommy Robinson tried to publicise the names of the people while the trial was ongoing. And the reason if a court decides you can't report on a case while the case is ongoing, it's usually because of a belief the people won't be able to get a fair trial if there is publicity on their names, etc. And if you breach that, you open the door to those people never being convicted. You give their defense lawyers the opportunity to say, there should be a mistrial because these people will never get a fair trial. And so if you actually think they're guilty, which it looks like they are, the worst thing you could do is publicize their names and publicize the case in contravention to court orders, because you run a very severe risk of causing a mistrial and making sure they are never convicted. Now, Tommy Robinson was already convicted of doing that. He was on a suspended sentence, and he went and did exactly the same thing. So a few simple statements of fact. He knew he was breaking the law when he did it. He knew he would be arrested when he did it. He knew he was running the very real risk of causing a mistrial and making sure these accused sex predators were never convicted. And ask yourself, what the fuck is that about? Where he puts his ego and his racist message above an actual important case prosecuting sex offenders. And it goes as far as there's evidence some people have put forward that Tommy Robinson's actual goal was to cause a mistrial, to make sure these guys were never convicted, because that would feed into his hideous racist hate whirlpool of, see, the government's protecting the pedos, the government's protecting the Muslim pedos, when it would have been completely his fault. And when you look at someone who appears willing to make sure sex offenders don't get convicted just to push his own agenda, he's a fairly vile and disgusting excuse for a human, and anyone who defends him is just as vile and just as disgusting. All this bullshit talk about free speech, reporting, they are somewhere on the spectrum of blatant liars and profoundly stupid. Like, I think particularly the ones with a media platform, I am completely convinced they know they are lying, and they don't care. Their agenda is more important than the truth, and they are blatantly lying. I'm sure there are a bunch, because anyone who's a Tommy Robinson fan is a stupid cunt. Anyone who's a Tommy Robinson fan is fucking vile. But I'm sure a bunch of them are too stupid to understand that Tommy Robinson went in and did this specifically while he was on a suspended sentence for the same offence, where he knew he was breaking the law, he knew he would be arrested, and he knew he was running the risk of aborting the trial. And I'm sure a whole bunch of his supporters are far too stupid to understand that. But the ones with the public platform, fuck them. They're lying fucking shit stains. Oh, yeah, and yes, Count Dankula is, and again, this is a classic example. I saw someone posted some screenshots of Count Dankula, Tommy Robinson's definitely not Nazi best friend, when he was being prosecuted for his anti-Semitic video. He's going like, I'll joke about whatever I want. I don't care who's upset. Fuck you if you're offended. And then he had a big crying fit about people laughing at the concept of Tommy Robinson going to jail and dying in jail. It's just awful. So it's like, it's typical of this hypocrisy. He goes, I'll joke about whatever I want. Fuck you if you're too sensitive. But when you joke about something that he doesn't like, he has a big hissy fit. What a fucking piece of shit. Big Mac, you understand my point of view? 13 months jail sentence is a bit extreme. No, Tommy Robinson is a vile fucking cunt. Tommy Robinson deliberately broke the law. He was already under a suspended sentence. He should be in jail for fucking longer. He's fucking filth. He's fucking disgusting. He is an absolute shit stain. No, you don't get to call you like, fuck Tommy Robinson, fuck any defense of him. He's a cunt. Anyone who defends him is a cunt. He's worthless. He's filthy, vile, racist, lying scum, and every single one of his defenders is either also deliberately lying or so fucking stupid they can't understand the simple concept of he broke the law deliberately. So fuck him and fuck his defenders. They're all fucking garbage. Catherine, I don't quite understand what you're saying about the press saying sounds long and convoluted if the press hated him. I don't understand why you're even bringing the press into it. He was arrested for breaking the law, and that's what happened. Oh, that's one thing. Oh, sorry, I just saw, Pat, you did mention that Bearing's channel got terminated. That's sad, isn't it? That is sad. That's very sad. Big Mac, don't fucking say he doesn't. He's got rights. He broke the law, and he broke the law deliberately. He went there knowing he was breaking the law. He was under a suspended sentence for that exact offence. He knew for a fact he was breaking the law, and he did it on purpose. He knew he was being arrested. That was the outcome he wanted. He knew he was running the risk of aborting a trial against some very serious sex offenders for his own fucking agenda, and he didn't care. He's fucking filth. He's utter scum. Jail, it's not just what he deserves. There's no alternative. He was already convicted of the same offence, and he was under a suspended sentence, and he fucking did it again. He knew he'd be arrested, and he wants to be a martyr. Fuck him. He's fucking garbage, and so is anyone who defends him. Fuck him. Hardcore sports. Yes. Blatant racism and evil tends to make me angry. Yes. No, Big Mac, I did not make a simple step. Okay. There are literally only two possibilities, Big Mac. Everything I said is true, or Tommy Robinson is the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. Okay? There are literally only those two possibilities. He was already arrested and convicted of that exact offence, and he was given a suspended sentence, which he didn't fucking deserve. He then deliberately chose to go and commit exactly the same offence. If you don't think he did it on purpose and he knew he would be arrested, then you think he's fucking stupid and or you're fucking stupid, because there are literally only those two possibilities. He did it on purpose, knowing he'd be arrested because he's already been convicted of that crime and was under a suspended sentence, or he's the stupidest motherfucker on the planet, like his fucking defenders. The charges are not bullshit. The charges are clearly defined criminal actions. You fucking moron. Toby, I'm talking about filthy shitbag racist cunt with filthy racist shitbag cunt fans. His name's Tony Robinson. Hey, Peter, it's pretty black and white, Tommy Robinson. It is literally black and white. And here's the thing. If you think Tommy Robinson didn't do it on purpose, you're either the stupidest motherfucker on the planet or you're a lying fucking shit-eating cunt who's arguing in bad faith, okay? It's as simple as that. You're either the dumbest motherfucker on the planet or a pathetic, lying sack of shit. And I mean, you go through your life being a dumb motherfucker or go through your life being a lying, cowardly sack of shit, okay? Either way, you're fucking filth, okay? You're worthless fucking filth. It's like you're either too stupid to live or too much of a cunt to live. It's as simple as that. Oh, sea lining is really funny, Will. Look up a web cartoonist coined it. The web comic is called Wondermark, but if you just Google search sea lining, you'll probably find the original comic, and it's just a funny, oblique reference to the way fuckheads on the internet jump up, argue in bad faith, and try and use up all your time, and then deny that's what they're doing. And in the context of the comic, it's a literal sea lion that does it. And so it became a term, sea lining. Fuckheads on the internet who, Big Mac, you're a cunt and you're boring. Fuck off and die, okay? You're a worthless, racist shit cunt defending a worthless, racist shit cunt. Fuck off and die. Yep, boring gets you gone. Yes, resonators, and that's a good definition. Sea lining, pestering a target with unsolicited questions delivered with a false air of civility. I thought I just did. I don't know how this works. That was it. Yes, okay. It's just like, it's the combination of boring, lying, stupid, racist cunt. I mean, really. Yeah, well, Peter, what he's claiming is an assumption. Is when I said Tommy Robinson knew what he was doing and did it deliberately and knew he would be arrested and knew he would be jailed and knew he was in danger of causing a mistrial for some very serious sex offenders. And he's a assumption. Well, like I said, in cases like that, there are literally only two possibilities. When he's already been convicted of this exact crime and he's on a suspended sentence and he does it again, there are literally only two possibilities. One is that he knew exactly what he was doing, knew exactly what would happen, and he did it on purpose. The other possibility is that he is the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. Neither's great. Tony Robinson. Now, I made a joke about Tony Robinson because notorious British racist Tommy Robinson, which is not even his real name, which is really weird. Yeah, notorious British racist Tommy Robinson has gone to jail for, I think it's contempt of court. I'm not sure what the exact charge is, but you know, he's gone to jail for being a piece of shit. I review hardcore sports. You haven't seen me that angry for a while. Like I said, well, being filthy, racist scum makes me pretty angry, but being a lying, hypocritical, disingenuous, racist piece of shit who won't even be honest about what's happening, that makes me really angry. Peter, I always did the out of context thing for Jordan Peterson. Look, at this point, anyone who champions Jordan Peterson, I'm just like, yeah, good on you, buddy. Good, whatever. Good on you. Not interested. It's just it's so easy to pick Jordan Peterson apart. And in fact, there was an article I read the other day. I think I shared it on social medias. It was written by a university professor who got Jordan Peterson and made sure he got Jordan Peterson his job. I think it's the University of Toronto. And he regarded Peterson as a friend. And then down the line went, oh, I think I've made a terrible mistake. And the simple summary of, I guess, the core problem I have with Jordan Peterson, this guy articulated it really well. I mean, besides the fact he panders to horrible people to raise his profile, Jordan Peterson repeatedly presents ideas as facts, and they're like in the way he presents them, they're inarguable and incontrovertible facts. Men are order, women are chaos. He just says things that are like random, or they feel like random brain farts, but he acts as if they are incontrovertible and inarguable truths, which is just ridiculous. Benny Aidsy is unwell, unfortunately. He didn't reply to my last message. Yeah. And yes, Peter Throw. People making 6 figures a month off Patreon who complain about being silenced. I agree. They can fuck off. Yeah, Charlie, that's his big thing. People are loved. He points out hierarchy is normal. Trying to make things fair is dumb. And then he goes, oh, because lobsters have hierarchy. There you go. It's like, what the fuck do lobsters have to do with people? It's just like he's cherry picked one thing, and therefore I can extrapolate all of this stuff about humans because of a creature that has nothing to do with humans. Like, okay. I like that with Jordan Peterson's Men Are Order, Women Are Chaos line. YouTube videos of guys doing stupid shit begs to differ. Yes, Benny, we are hoping that the zombie gets better. Oh, look, yeah, and the obsession with IQ, you're right, review hardcore sports. Look, people get very upset when you point out to them that in and of itself, all an IQ test tells you is how well you did on that IQ test. It does not tell you how well suited you are to life. It does not tell you anything about your qualities as a person. It does not tell you anything about your ability to ever contribute anything useful in your life. It's people who obsess about IQ tests usually don't have a lot to offer. Toby, Celtic King tested. Hi, AngryAussie. Thank you. We all think Celtic King's sexy too, so thank you for that. Sean, Jordan Peterson is the intellectual of angry right-wing young males at the moment, so... the anarchists and Marxists are dismantling the lobster hierarchy. That's what's in Das Kapital. Oh, he might be able to be on a stream on Thursday. Cool. Well, tell him we're all hoping he's feeling good, and that he is looking after himself and getting things straight. Yeah, Catherine, you're right. An IQ test is me. You could be super smart and never do anything productive, never do anything worthwhile, never do anything smart. IQ tests, and this is saying stuff, if I say stuff like this would really, really upset people like Jordan Peterson, because a key thing about IQ tests are they're massively culturally biased. If you were not brought up in the culture that the IQ test is designed for, you will probably do quite badly in the IQ test because it will have a cultural bias that you don't understand. But obviously, you know, the overwhelming majority of scientists, etc., who do great breakthroughs do tend to have really high IQs. It actually isn't universal, but it does tend to be the case. So I certainly don't undervalue intelligence. I do value intelligence quite highly, but intelligence is a somewhat nebulous concept, and anyone who thinks an IQ test tells you anything absolute about the value of a person, I really don't think they have a lot to offer the world. He's saying IQ tests were used for preschoolers in the early 20th century. Man, tests used to be, for everyone, used to be much tougher, although different, because the world's just changed so much. So the really rigorous testing that happened in universities 150 years ago is of very little value in the world today. Oh, that's an interesting view, Peter, that missing the point of IQ tests, they weren't to identify brainy people, they were to identify people who were struggling and help them. 1v1 mean pro. In which arena are we 1v1ing? I haven't done any competitive online gaming in ages. I actually tend to avoid it like the plague because people are just so obnoxious. It's funny because my kids online gaming all the time, and young Ms. Angry in particular is very vocal. She's like her her bedroom's right down the end of the hallway. I will occasionally hear her shouting like, "The fuck! What the fuck did you do that for? You did." She's very vocal when the online gaming is. It's like sitting in the lounge, or later at night in bed, and just hear her go, what was that? What are you doing with that? It was just, oh my god. It's a little while since I've had to, when she games late into the night and gets inside the chat, and I've had to go and go, yeah, it's bedtime. You might not have to work tomorrow, but some of us do, so you have to keep the volume down. Yeah, I'm with you, Sean. Story mode, get the fuck out. I've been playing story mode games recently. Grand Theft Auto 5, Yakuza 0, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fucking love it. Benny, I've got to plead ignorance here. What was the results of the Italian election? Toby, you want a 1v1 in a screaming match? Well, if you ever come to Melbourne, man, we could do that. Peter, thoughts on IQ test discrepancies for ethnic minorities within one culture? Any relevant? Look, I don't know, man. This is unlike demagogues and ideologues. I will admit I do not know enough about that topic to make an informed statement. I know that's a radical thing, isn't it? I mean, to say that is not something that I know well enough to make an informed judgment on. So I will defer to that. Will Hart, I have kids. They're adults. It's young Mr. Angry is 18 on Thursday, and young Ms. Angry is 21 later in the year. So they're adults. They're my kids. So, oh, in fact, I have I might do a live stream on Saturday night. I've said young Mr. Angry can have some friends over for an 18th birthday party on Saturday night, and they'll be in there, and I'll be here chaperoning from a. I might do a live stream while an out of control 18-year-old birthday's going on in there. That could be fun. Oh, Peter, thanks for that tip. Stephen J. Gould debunks the race IQ relation nonsense. Good, excellent. Review hardcore sports. I have no idea what my IQ is. I could be vain. I would assume I would do reasonably well, but here's the thing. I don't have a lot of patience. Like, if it's an IQ test that's logic puzzles, I get bored. Like, for instance, I looked at a Mensa test once, and Mensa is a scam, by the way. For anyone who thinks Mensa is where all the science, Mensa is a scam. but I did look at the Mensa test once, and I looked at their questions, and I could see they were logical. I could see that, oh, okay, you can see that's logic. You have to work out that bit relates to that bit. And I was like, oh, I don't want to. So maybe my attention span's not that good. But yes, I trying to think if I've ever actually done a proper IQ test, and I don't think I have. If I have, it was so long ago, I don't remember. But yeah. Oh yeah. No, Peter. Look, Mensa members can be great and they can be terrible. But like I said, Mensa itself is just a scam to get membership fees. Toby, you're heading off. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Catch you again later. Hey, maybe with Celtic King on Thursday. Who knows? Who knows? Anything. Yeah, Mensa is a scam to get fucking membership fees from people and to make people think they're special, and so they pay the membership fees so they feel special. Which is not to say people in Mensa aren't necessarily special, but if you're in Mensa, you are being manipulated. But hey, that's life. We all get manipulated from time to time. I had to go through a thing. An ex-girlfriend of mine who was really manipulative, and it was weird what I allowed to happen, and a big part of it was not wanting to admit I was being manipulated, because I'm a strong, independent man. I don't get manipulated. So it is very easy. Again, fucking narcissistic sociopaths manipulate people, and if you're being manipulated, it's very easy to fall into the trap of like, well, I'm not weak-minded enough to be manipulated, so what's happening is clearly what I want to happen, because I can't be manipulated because I'm too clever for that, and which resulted in about a year of nastiness, quite honestly, before I finally one day, scales fell from my eyes. I was like, oh, fuck this shit. And about not least one of the manipulations was putting me, because I was living with her, like sharing a place with her. One of the manipulations was putting me in a position where I thought financially I couldn't split from her. And then one of them, one of the realizations was, fuck yes, I can. And I did. Just got the fuck out of Dodge. Oh, Benny, that's interesting. Going back to the Italy result, you're saying because of who did well in the Italian election, they could pull out of the EU. I would have thought that would be economically catastrophic for Italy. But then again, Italy is a bit of a basket case anyway. So who knows? Nobody being hostile to people who try to manipulate you is a fairly reasonable reaction. Oh, Biora, your year of nastiness was 2015. Mine was a bit longer because, wow, my relationship with Mrs. Angry is a teenager now. We've been together 13 years. So that would make my year of nastiness, if I draw you, would have been about 2004. Go back to 2005. Yeah, it was probably 2004 was a nasty year for me. Catherine, look, who isn't trying to leave the EU? I don't know. England's not doing very well with its withdrawal from the EU, honestly. Oh, Peter, I think, look, you're right. It's very hard to see from the inside when you're in a manipulative relationship, because I think particularly if you're a guy, you don't want to feel like a chump. You're like, no, I'm a strong man. I'm in control. I'm not being manipulated. And after I broke up with this particularly nasty person, even my sisters were saying like, the fuck were you doing with her? Like, she was crazy and did this, that, and the other. Well, why didn't you tell me? And you go, oh, it's your relationship. I'm not going to get involved. Well, you could have. You could have told me things you saw. But they were right. It's probably smart on a family level to not get involved and try and break up relationships with someone in your family. But they do have a bit of fun with pointing out dumb shit I let her get away with. That's what family's for, I guess. Yeah, yeah. When people say friends don't give friends ultimatums, and then you had to cut them off because of how toxic they were. Yeah. Yeah, resonates. And it's like if you're being used, being used as a sex doll, you kind of think like, yeah, I'm being used for sex. All right. Then at a certain point, you go, okay, maybe the sex is really good, but this person is still like using me when we're not having sex, and that's less good. And that was the thing I went through. It was like, yeah, having wild, crazy sex, but then still wild, crazy, and manipulative when you're not having sex. It's far less good, quite honestly. So, yeah, it is very difficult to cut yourself loose from manipulative people. And it's very easy, particularly after the fact, to feel like it was a failing on your part to be caught by a manipulative person. But it's not your fault. Like, if a toxic person abuses you and whatnot, it's not your fault. It's them. It is very easy to blame yourself and go, oh, I let it happen. And, oh, I should have known and I should have. No, that's how these motherfuckers work. They fucking manipulate you and screw you over. Yeah, Betty, I think the EU is weird. Again, this is one area that I'm not an expert in. I can see lots of reasons for not wanting to be in the EU, and there are aspects of the EU that do seem a little bit out of control. But as the England experience with Brexit is showing, pulling out of the EU can be a very ugly thing. So yeah, look, I think I'll make myself a drink. I need to get some ice. I'm gonna keep chatting about an hour. Might make a nice drink for, like I say, just finish my Pepsi. I'll make something else. Really nice. I know what I might do. Oh, ice, baby. I might do this. Okay. Where's my lemonade? I had lemonade. It's down here. Okay. Lemonade. Right. Okay. Settling in again. Hey, Timothy, how's it going? Sean, you ever been manipulated in a relationship that cut people off because of bullshit? Look, I'm going to make a video very soon about a little meme that was getting circulated that pissed me off. And I said so, like on Facebook. It was, those old train safety ones, like, this is Frank. Frank does this. Good on you, Frank. Someone posted this one like, oh, this is Frank. Frank doesn't let political opinions get in the way of friendships because Frank's an adult. Be like Frank. Good on you, Frank. And bullshit. Well, look, to an extent, because I mean, I have friends who have very different political opinions. Like, a semi-regular pops in every now and then streams. Frankie the Skin, from England. Like, he's a conservative, like Thatcher-loving conservative. But with a really good social conscience, very anti-racist, very anti-fascist, but he's conservative socially and politically, and that's fine. But this bullshit meme about, doesn't let politics get in the way of friendship is the sort of shit that like Trump supporters and outright fucking fascists do. Is like, motherfucker, when your political opinion dehumanizes others or actually involves talking about eradicating others. That's no longer an opinion that you can be friends with. That's like fucking evil and needs to be stopped. And these people need to be ostracized. It's like really funny. Like we talked earlier about the right-wing fuckheads who are theoretically coming to Australia. Laura Southern, who is banned from going into the UK, but doesn't look like getting banned from coming into Australia. But it's just like, no, these people are so vile and evil and toxic. To be friends with them is to at least implicitly say that attitude's acceptable. And it fucking isn't. See, and this is whereas Frank's actual conservative politics, it's acceptable. I disagree, but it's an acceptable position for someone to have. Being a vile fucking racist filth. You see, oh yeah, and resonators, and you bring up a good point. Richard Spencer actually admitting on tape that the right wing is anti-free speech. They lie and talk about free speech, but you see it all the time. They are very active in trying to shut down the speech of anyone they don't know. Cliff Jumper, how's it going, buddy? John Hayes, Southern is not the best Lauren. Okay. Lauryn Hill, maybe? I always liked that album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and the stuff she did with the Fugees. She was a pretty good Lauren. But yeah, I was going to do a video on that topic about people's politics, and this was based on a real thing that some friends of mine did. There's this guy I've been friends with for a while, and he keeps sort of flirting. Oh, I don't think men's rights activism's all bad. And I'm like, yes, it fucking is. Okay, buddy. And he said once, and this was an actual exchange. It happened on like Twitter between a couple of people I know, and this one guy goes like, "Oh, I wanted to say what I think about some stuff, but I would lose friends." And I knew exactly what he was saying. He was getting on this ridiculous fucking MRA kick again. And this other guy piped up, again, mutual friend, said like, "No, you stick by your friends no matter what. It's bullshit to say you got to drop someone as a friend just because of what they say." And so I said to the guy saying, "Stick by your friends forever." I said, "Oh, so if one of your friends turned out to be a child sex offender, are you still going to defend them? Are you going to say it's okay to be a child rapist because you're my friend?" And he said, "Oh, don't be ridiculous. No, I wouldn't do that." I go, no. I'm not being ridiculous. You said no matter what. You said stick by your friends no matter what. Now, I pointed out to you, sometimes people that you think you're friends with can do horrible things, and you have limits. You said you would not stay friends and would not defend someone who was a child sex offender. Fine, but let's get real about what we're talking about here. You're saying this MRA bullshit is acceptable. You're not saying support friends no matter what. You're saying we'll accept some things, but not others. So if you're saying you'll be friends with a racist or you'll be friends with a misogynist, you are telling the people affected by that person's racism or misogyny that you are okay with that. You are telling other people that are affected by this fucking evil that you don't care what they suffer as a result of this person's behavior. Because you said there are limits, but you're just saying, oh, if it's MRA stuff, I'm okay with it. So you are saying people adversely affected by that, you don't care about them. And he got so fucking defensive. Benny, I don't advocate free speech. You're going to come back on Thursday. Thanks for dropping by, Batman. Good to see you, buddy. Timothy, no, I have not read the book or seen the show The Man in the High Castle. That's one of those Hitler won World War II speculative things, isn't it? See, Benny, here's the thing. Particularly when people on the right talk about free speech, they rarely make any sense. Like, let's talk about the country with I guess, the strongest free speech protections. The US, the First Amendment, Congress shall pass no law limiting free speech, to paraphrase the First Amendment. And what that means is that technically the government should never prosecute you because of what you say, write, or produce artistically. In practical terms, there are always limits. And I mean, you know, look at the anti-communist fucking McCarthy trials. For, you know, pornography prosecutions, libel, slander, incitement to violence. They're even in America, that has some of the clearest freedom of speech protections, there are a range of things you can't do. You can't threaten people, you can't defame people, and if the government will go after you if they don't like you, basically. But people talk in this abstract of free speech, and what they mean is I should be able to say whatever I want without ever taking responsibility for it and without ever suffering any repercussions for it. And that is absolute fucking bullshit. It is not the legal status anywhere in the world. And my personal opinion is anyone who espouses that as a virtue is a fucking idiot. It doesn't exist anywhere. And what they're saying is I should be able to be a complete piece of shit and never take any responsibility for it and never take any, never suffer any repercussions. I don't think there are any hate speech laws in the US. I'm not sure. In most of the rest of the world, there are anti-hate speech laws. Like if you are saying or doing things to vilify other groups, you can be prosecuted on those grounds. So I have very little time for people who go on about, oh, my reason, and also these people who tend to suggest that free speech means they have to be given a platform and that you and I have to listen to. Like what people, these idiots who, when you say block them on social media, they go, you're violating my free speech. That's censorship. No, I just don't want to fucking listen to you. Fuck off. And just like once people start spouting that I tend to write them off very quickly. But yes, so I definitely don't advocate free speech because it's such a meaningless concept. I mean, I think the government shouldn't hassle us unless we're actually putting people in danger. And yes, hate speech does encourage violence to its targets. And I am in favor of hate speech. And it's like virtually any law can be abused by an overzealous government or police force. But that's the nature of society. It's this constant tension of push and pull between, you know, going too far one way or too far the other. And you tend to have this tension pulling you back and forth in various ways. No, buddy, go off to study the inside of your eyelids. Sounds like a fine plan. Thanks for dropping by. See you again. And hello, Filian Silla. Good to see you. Besides free speech, this is the funny things when I make a video that upsets right wings, particularly if some relatively high profile right winger does one of their attack videos and sends their little hate army against me. They tend to say the same fucking thing. And it cracks me up because they don't even, like, they say free speech and I go, you don't even know what that means. It's just this meaningless couple of words. And, you know, you go and say, I should be able to say whatever. No, there is literally no jurisdiction in the world where free speech means you should be able to say whatever you want with no repercussions. There is no jurisdiction in the world where that's what free speech means legally. And then they go about censorship. Like they go like, if I block, delete, then that's censorship. No, censorship is what the government does. Okay. If I just don't want to hear from you, that's just I don't fucking like you and fuck off. It's not censorship. And what's the other? Oh, and they say you're a hypocrite. And that's because they'll say, oh, yeah, amazing. No, I've just told you that I don't hold some holy concept for free speech. It's like me doing something you don't like is not hypocrisy. Me saying this is a thing you shouldn't do and then doing it, that's hypocrisy. But that's not when they say you're a hypocrite. They mean I did something they don't like. So just if you don't know the meaning of words, don't use them. Okay? It's just stupid. John, you are right. A US court ruled that Trump's not allowed to block people on Twitter because that's violating the Constitution. And I think that's a really dumb ruling. And Trump's ignoring it anyway. I thought that was a really stupid ruling. A court saying, "Oh no, it's stopping someone from seeing communication from the go." No, I thought that was a really stupid ruling, quite honestly. And I'm very big on the Trump disliking, but that court saying people can't be blocked from the Trump Twitter account violates the Constitution. I thought that was a really stupid ruling. Actually, Cliff Jumper, I'm glad you brought up the fire in the movie theater. That isn't true. That's the one that's often cited in the US as an exception to the US free speech laws, and it isn't true. It's not law, and there's no legal precedent for it. It may have been a judge who originally said it, something like shouting fire in a movie theater, but it isn't actually the law. What the law is you can't incite violence. If you say something that a court finds to be a credible incitement to violence, or like, hey, we were talking about Tyler, the Creator. He got arrested for inciting riot by telling his crowd at some concert to surge past the security guards. I agree with you, Catherine. The court's getting involved in Trump's Twitter seems beneath them. And it was a dumb ruling. It's a very dumb ruling. Exactly, Peter. I am. And this is the thing where they say, you're a hypocrite. You say you're opposed to censorship, but you blocked me. That isn't censorship. That is, I don't want to hear from you anymore. And I don't want to give you a platform. Not required to. Twitter banning someone is not censorship. Twitter is a commercial enterprise going, I think your behavior threatens our commercial viability, so I'm going to stop you from threatening our commercial viability. It's ridiculous. But that is one thing that idiots on YouTube particularly say, yeah, hypocrite, you say you don't like censorship, but you block people. It's not censorship. Okay? You can still say whatever you want, and I'm not making any legal steps to stop you from saying it. It's just I personally, in my own little world, have no interest in having you there. I have no interest in giving you a platform. Timothy, what's my thought on Elon Musk saying he's going to start a journalist ranking website? If I was a billionaire, I would not be doing the dumb fucking shit that Elon Musk is doing, quite honestly. I mean, you look at Elon Musk, he's okay. I'm an old lefty pro-union type from way back, and Elon Musk is like typical of rich people who made his money from fucking exploiting people. Oh, unions are bad. Unions cause fucking unrest. And I mean, he was clearly at least half joking when he said he was going to start a truth ranking thing and call it Pravda. But it's just like, oh, people said mean things about me and I've got the shits. I'm so rich, people should never be able to say mean things about me. I just like to think if I was a billionaire, I would have better things to do than be a fuckhead on Twitter, quite honestly. I find it really embarrassing. Like, seriously, if I ever disappear from social media and stuff, I just won lotto or something. Because, like, man, if I had a lot of money, I would not be going around picking fights on the internet. I would like to think I would have better things to do with my life. And and like that guy who made all his money from Minecraft, Notch. Although I think he's kind of backed off social media, but he went through this whole phase of being a complete fuckhead on Twitter. It's like, dude, if I was a billionaire, I think I'd find better things to do than be a complete cunt on Twitter. Honestly. Oh, nice cliff jumper. If Musk does something really bad, we need to call it elongate. Definitely. Definitely elongate. Our resonator Zen, you're a commie. You're a commie. If you had Elon Musk's money, you'd pay off people's debts and healthcare. You commie. Yeah, well, he's doing literally the opposite in that he's undermining people's work conditions and making more money by hurting people who already have very little. Tendai, I really like to think if I had $1 billion dues, I'd be do. Yeah, I would not waste my time being an asshole on Twitter. In as much as I think the most assholey thing I would do on social media, I don't think I'd spend time. I mean, it's how I interact with a lot of my friends, so I'd probably maintain social. I'd just be having parties. Anytime someone criticized me on social media, I think I just posted a gif of me fanning myself with a wad of cash. Something like that. I think that's the most arsehole thing I'd do. We'll watch TV shows to watch. Oh my God, just relatively recently, I was watching Santa Clarita Diet. You've got Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant, like a suburban housewife who becomes a zombie. Fuck, it's funny. It is so good. There's 2 seasons of it on Netflix. I'm into season 2. Oh my God, it's funny. But I mean, what else am I watching? Things like Westworld and Walking Dead, a few other things. Game consoles. My new game consoles are the Switch and PS4. Currently, every now and then, I'm still playing Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch. On the PS4, I played GTA 5 and Yakuza 0, and I finished both of them. So yes, there was a question, am I going to play God of War? Probably, Timothy, because a lot of people say it's a good game, and that might be the next new game I get. Oh, Sean, isn't Legion an interesting show? And hello, Stella. For those who don't know, Legion is a Marvel TV series about a very powerful psychic. He's possibly the most powerful psychic mutant in existence, and he sort of gets involved with all these other mutants. And you think that would make for an action-packed Zap Pow show, right? And there is action in it, but Legion has this weird dreamlike pace, and a lot of episodes of Legion just talk about the nature of reality, because this guy's psychic powers are so strong, and he also has spent his whole life with a psychic parasite in his brain, and this guy is such a powerful psychic, and his psychic parasite is so powerful, they can alter the very nature of reality. So you get whole episodes of Legion that are just about questioning the nature of reality, and they do stuff about multiverse theory and whatnot. And yes, Sean, you're right, it does have a killer soundtrack as well. Yes, I've seen other things. God of Boy, Boy of God. Yes, everyone seems to enjoy in the new God of War that the protagonist who's got his son on the quest, who prefer to his boy. So I probably am going to play God of War at some point, but I don't have it yet. I mean, there's also another Yakuza game, and I did enjoy Yakuza 0. So I will possibly get the new Yakuza game. Stella, in Australia, Legion is on Foxtel. It's made by the FX network in the US, and Australia, it's on Foxtel. Oh, yeah, Timothy, I've seen that Detroit Become Human. I did see the teaser they did at like one of those big US, I don't know which trade show it was, and this was like 6 months ago or something, and it showed how you have to make a series of decisions, and you get a little meter that tells you the percent likelihood of success in the current scenario. And that will go up and down based on the decisions you make and the things, because you get the decision tree stuff like, do you want your character to say this, this, or this? And you'll see the percent likelihood of you succeeding in particular things goes up and down based on what actions you choose and what things you say. It does look interesting. I don't know a lot about it, but it looks interesting. And you're right, Sean, it may have many emotions in it. Stella, I'm not sure if you can see Legion on anything but Foxtel in Australia. It's definitely not on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on them, but yes. Sorry, Betty, that is just such a great sentence. I mean, I love that sentence. Yakima games, grim growling men hitting each other with puck, and why did you remove it? I love that sentence. Oh, Cliff Jumper, I did like the Star Wars Solo movie. Um, uh, it was good fun. Like I said, it was good fun. Lots of I don't know. It possibly could have been shorter because it's like over 2 hours long. I think it possibly could have been shorter, but it was good. Oh my god! And fucking Donald Glover as Lando. He's got Billy D. Williams cadences down so well. Like it's not like he's doing a Billy D. Williams impersonation, but it's just he cadences and rhythms was the thing. Oh, sure, and you can watch Legion on iTunes. Okay, no spoilers. No spoilers for Solo or Deadpool 2. They're both too new. Or even the fucking Avengers is too new to do spoilers. But no, Solo's great. Like young Han Solo backstory, and it's just full of I suppose you'd call them Easter eggs, but little hidden references and stuff for hardcore Star Wars fans. Good fun. Good fun. Definitely good fun, that movie. David Cage's favourite song is Emotion by Daft Punk. Resonator, you think it's Closer by 9 Inch Nails. You bring me closer to God. You're boring. Right. Chewbacca's a tired space dad. Okay, that sounds depressing, Resonator. See, I'm not hardcore into gaming, so sometimes when people tell me all the really arcane stuff, oh, this guy does that, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I'm definitely a filthy casual with gaming. Oh, Peter, that horror movie Hereditary, they're really hyping it as your scariest horror movie ever. So you're right. Donald Glover as Childish Gambino does some very good music, and he's really growing. Like everyone's really hyped about This Is America at the moment. But also his older music I think is quite good. Timothy Hatton, Chewie's 200. Yeah, I think it's even in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. But Chewie says he's 190 years old when he meets Han, and that's like 20 years before Star Wars. So yeah, when in the original Star Wars he'd be 210. So he's still kicking around in the current, which is again another 40 years later. So he'd be 250 now. Oh, that's interesting. That is a fun fact, Sean. Hiro Murai, director of This Is America, directed an episode of Legion. There you go. Yes, he is funny in Community. That is true. Donald Glover is one of the central characters in Community, which is generally a funny show. Oh, yes. And Atlanta, that's his show, Atlanta. Aren't you saying Hiro Murai directs a lot of Atlanta as well? I still haven't seen Atlanta. I've heard lots of good things about Atlanta, but I haven't. That's a TV series with Donald Glover in it. I haven't seen it yet. No. Resonated. Then you didn't like episode 8. I liked it. I thought it was good. But I mean, yeah, personal taste in music. When someone just expresses personal taste, that's fine. Even if they really don't like something that's my favorite. It's like, cool, look, personal taste is personal taste. What I can't come at is when you get those mobs who want to take, and I have to, this is because I'm a social justice warrior, particularly though fucking idiots who want to take stuff, oh, the SJWs have ruined that, blah, blah, blah. And they say shit that is so stupid. And they say they're fans. They go, oh, I hated the new Star Trek because it's all SJW. The first fucking episodes of Star Trek were about inclusiveness and diversity and equality. And how can you call yourself a fan of Star Trek and say, oh, I hate it when they put the women in roles and the different races in roles? That has, from episode 1 of the original series, that's been the central thing in Star Trek. And people complaining about, Doctor Who was there. That's all social justice warrior. Doctor Who is literally a social justice warrior. That's what Doctor Who does. It's what Doctor Who has always done. It's like, you're not a fan. And the ones who got angry at, Star Wars, like, oh, you said political and social justice way. It's like, that's what Star Wars was originally, The Empire are evil fascists. It's like, for fuck's sake. Oh, Peter, new season of Luke Cage. I did see Netflix advertising. I watched a couple episodes of Luke Cage. I liked it. I didn't get really into it. But yeah. Still, yeah, because not everyone, but a lot of people do pick on the casino subplot in the most recent Star Wars, and it probably wasn't strictly necessary. But it's like their cantina scene, and yes, Solo as a cantina. It's like that's one thing they feel they have to put in every Star Wars film is a cantina scene, like one setting with an incredibly diverse group of aliens socializing. I don't have a problem with it, but yeah, it's funny that and the casino in Last Jedi was like their cantina scene. Yes. Sean, I honestly agree with you. I think Last Jedi is a very well made film. I get very upset with the idiots online who, I hate the social justice warrior stuff. And particularly people who clearly don't understand filmmaking at all, making really stupid statements get up my nose. I was saying, look, dude, if you don't like Last Jedi, you don't like Last Jedi. Nothing's for everyone. I mean, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautifully shot film. Had really great stuff in it. But it's personal taste, man. Don't let it get down your thing. Oh, we'll have to see Solo in theaters. It's pretty visually impressive. it definitely has impact in a cinema. But yeah, like I said, it did, for me, like, it doesn't have the emotional depth of Rogue One. Like, Rogue One is fucking fantastic. Rogue One is such a good movie. Like, Rogue One takes the Star Wars universe and just really shows you something different. It's like, this is not the leaders of the rebellion. This is not mystical force wielders. This is people down in the dirt and the mud and the people who get the really ugly side of intergalactic war. I fucking love Rogue One. It's great. Cliff Jumper. Okay, think about Empire Strikes Back. That bit where they're on the planet and the new improved AT-ATs attack them and the ground's all white. I really loved when the guys are in the trench, the AT-ATs, which just feels like the Empire Strikes Back. And that guy looks at your finger and turns to go, "What's the white stuff?" He goes, "Oh, it's salt." I thought that was a good joke. Look, Mimsy's come. I've just thought Mimsy came to join us. Yes, everyone loves Mimsy. Yes, she wants some attention. Yes. Yep, Sean, I'm with you. A+ for Rogue One. Yeah, I mean, going into Rogue One, what I was most excited by, it's like, ooh, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, for all we know, any character in this could die. And I wasn't quite prepared for what they did, quite honestly. Yeah, see, Stella, see, I agree, and this is why I was trying. Like, I don't want to have a Resonators End said didn't like Last Thoughts, and that's fine. Because, like I say, when these idiot right wingers make everything a political argument, it's hard not to sound like them if you say, "Well, I didn't like that Star Wars movie for this reason." And you've got these fucking idiots saying really stupid stuff, and you go, "Well, I'm not one of them. I'm just telling you my opinion." I'm not, but yeah, it's like, wow, I don't want to be associated with them. Oh, nice. Fun fact from Sean: during the salt scene in The Last Jedi, the director of Rogue One's there as a soldier. Nice. Oh, Cliff Jumper. Sorry, I'm going to correct you again there. You're saying it's a story out of line from Return of the Jedi. Many Bothan spies died getting us the information. Return of the Jedi is talking about the second Death Star, not the first one. These were not Bothan spies. So they could make another one about the Bothan spies if they wanted. This was the first Death Star. And that Bothan spies line is a reference to the second Death Star. No, but it's like it had Rogue One was really good in that it addressed one of the key things people had a problem with in Star Wars is like, why did the Death Star have this glaring error? If you fire a missile into the exhaust port, the whole thing blows up. When you find out it was actually a deliberate sabotage that was put into the design. So that was kind of neat. I also loved Rogue One introduced extremist rebels, like people who were just into fucking shit up, and they made life difficult politically for the rest of the rebellion. But they were just like, fuck the Empire, and they were just into shooting and bombing shit. Okay, that's funny, Stella. You want Ray to go dark side and Ben go to the light side just to fuck with everyone. Well, if I understood correctly, what's his name is coming back to direct the next saga film. Why has my brain gone blank about him? Bad Robot Man. But yes. Oh, Sean, well, I think we are ultimately going to see some very interesting Star Wars spin-offs. That's a nice one. Just seeing people trying to live in an Empire-ruled galaxy. And in fact, that's it, J.J. Abrams. Thank you. I don't know why my brain blanked there. That's a key thing in Solo, actually. In Solo, the Empire is just consolidating its hold. And there are people trying to live and survive as the Empire makes life more brutal. But yes. Ooh, Feeling Sealer. Reboot Blake 7. I was such a fan of Blake 7 back in the day. And I think there actually have been rumors of a Blake 7 reboot. For those who don't know, Blake 7 is a BBC sci-fi from early 80s. And it basically started with Blake, who's a political prisoner, sent off on a prison ship, and then stages a breakout. And the people he escapes with are just basic criminals. He's a political prisoner, but the rest are just criminals. And they find a ship and go about fighting this repressive empire, basically. But yes, he has a crew of 7 people, so they're Blake's 7. See, maybe 78 to 81. I knew it was like, oh, there you go, 78, 81. I knew it was like late 70s, early 80s. I really liked it. I thought the final series was, but conceptually, just the idea of, yeah, fighting a fucking fascist dictatorship. You know, that's a timeless story. That's something that's very apt for us in the current age, isn't it? But you know, Blake 7 was interesting because it was political. Blake being a political prisoner teamed up with some criminals to fight the repressive regime. So yeah, that's it. It was like a bit more adult show trying to appeal to Doctor Who fans. Yeah. Oh, Sean, the prisoner. I've watched that old series with Patrick McGowan, and I do actually. There was a remake of The Prisoner a couple of years ago, and it was on sale. I got the DVDs of it because it was on sale, and I haven't watched it yet. I've got to watch that at some point. I think my favorite episode of for those who don't know, The Prisoner was like a James Bond with a sci-fi twist. It's basically this guy who's a spy uncovers some massive conspiracy, and then he's gassed and he wakes up on the island. It's this mysterious island where all these people are kept, and he's always trying to escape and get back to England. And there is my favorite episode is one where he actually makes it back to England. And he gets back with his agency and he's saying, like, man, someone fucking found me and I got put in this weird place. And there's someone within the agency who's a traitor. And he's trying to find the traitor. And right at a critical point where he gets gassed again and wakes up back on the island in the village. And so, Charlie, The Simpsons did a parody that was actually a really good parody. Possibly my favorite bit of The Simpsons parody of The Prisoner. There's one bit in The Prisoner where the guy's trying to escape and this giant inflatable ball sort of bounces along and lands on him and squishes him, stops him from escaping. And in The Simpsons parody, Homer's like escaping on a raft and this bouncy ball comes for him like a bit of boom, boom, and I was like, oh no! But he's got a fork and he sort of and pops the ball and it deflates and it cuts back to the control room with the evil overlord and his sidekick. And the evil overlord says to his sidekick, why did you think a bouncy ball would stop him? The sidekick goes, because shut up, that's why. It's just like, that was definitely my favorite moment of The Simpsons parody. Shut up. That's why. Oh, yeah, Sean, you're right. Patrick McGowan does get to do a voice in the Simpsons parody. That was back when the Simpsons was funny. Yes. No one's even used like the Simpsons in a meme. They've never used an episode that's less than about 15 years old. Oh, Resonator Zen, you're saying a remake of Outer Limits, like anthology shows? There's a sci-fi anthology show that George R.R. Martin's behind that's coming out. That looks interesting. That's one of the. It's weird with all these subscription services at the moment, but they are producing some very good shows. Like maybe 9 out of 10 of the things they produce are, but they are producing some really good shows. So, and this sci-fi anthology series that George R.R. Martin's behind looks like it could be good. So, yeah. I see Patrick McGowan had to flee the UK after the last episode. If he had to flee the UK because people are upset about the last episode of The Prisoner in the 60s or 70s, whenever it was made, could you imagine now with social media and how deranged people get? What that would be. Ooh, good question, Tendo. We'll have a great opening monologue like the Twilight Zone. Sean, you're 6 episodes in The Prisoner. How many episodes of The Prisoner are there altogether? I don't think there are that many. Resonators in. You couldn't get past the first episode of Black Mirror with the pig fucking. Well, on the plus side, after the first episode of Black Mirror, there's no more pig fucking. I think Black Mirror is very good. I mean, a lot of people pick on it and whatnot. I think there is some very good. I recommend watching some more episodes of Black Mirror. I think Black Mirror is pretty good. I quite enjoy it. Oh, Stella, my God. How long has it been since George Martin put out a new Song of Ice and Fire book? It's like, I don't know, 10 years? It's literally, it's like 10 years since he's released a book, isn't it? I don't know. Oh, Cliff Jumper, you're absolutely right. Acid was involved with the creation of The Prisoner. No two ways about it. Ah, Space 1999. Oh my God, what I've got on DVD, because, and I got this years ago because Mrs. Angry's son got into Thunderbirds. So we got all the Jerry Anderson stuff, Thunderbirds and Joe 90 and Stingray and a couple others. And I got UFO. Who remembers UFO? That was a live action thing that Jerry Anderson did about this like special Earth defense squad that defends us from UFOs, and it's set in the far future world of 1984. It's so good. It's so unintentionally camp. It is so good. Oh my God. If you ever get the chance, watch UFO, the Jerry Anderson series, because it's actually genuinely good. But it's so unintentionally camp. It's fucking great. Yes, Cliff Jumper Terrorhawks. That's another good one. Oh my God, I just remembered one thing. One of Jerry Anderson's series, Joe 90. This kid has this glasses that lets him read people's minds or something, and his dad is in some government spy agency. And there's one episode where there's like this Russian spy lady who's trying to manipulate his dad, and like basically she's trying to fuck his dad to get secrets. And there's this stuff where they're trying to like get the kid to read the Russian spy lady's mind, and I was going, what the fuck? Why are you making that kid read the mind of the lady who's trying to fuck his dad? That's gonna mess him up. What are you doing? That is so messed up. That's the thing I remember from Joe 90. And yes, Sean, I watched The Nick. I thought The Nick was a good show. That was the Steven Soderbergh TV show about a hospital in New York, the Knickerbocker Hospital in New York at the turn of the 19th, 20th century, when surgery was experimentation and all the doctors were on drugs. That was a pretty good series. Ran for 2 seasons, I think. It was good. I feel you're saying, yeah, I did like the old pups. Oh, you didn't like Supercar? The one I liked, Captain Scarlet. Captain Scarlet was fucking great. There was this again Earth defense thing because there were a race on Mars and we were at war with it, but it was our fault. It was the humans' fault. The captains were all had colors. There was Captain Green and Captain Scarlet, and Captain Black was on a mission at Mars, and he launched when they discovered this civilization. He launched an unprovoked attack on them. Which then made them go to war with us. And so the whole fucking thing is actually humans' fault. And the Martians are called Mysterons. And they have this power. They can reanimate dead people and put them under their control. Every episode of Captain Scarlet started with someone dying, and then the Mysterons would reanimate. Oh, Phil, I still haven't seen Logan Lucky. I have to watch that. That looks really good. I want to watch that. Sean, have I watched Mr. Robot? I watched the first season. I never got really into Mr. Robot. I watched the first season and I started to watch the second season. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I might try and get back into it, but what you leaving us, Mimsy? Tell you what, Mimsy, I'm going to leave everyone too because it's 10 o'clock. So yes, thank you once again, one and all, for joining. The usual fun, ranging through so many topics. So thank you all for joining me. I will be back anon. Hope to see you either on the pre-recorded videos or another live stream later in the week. So you've all been super good. So thank you for dropping by, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Look after yourselves, and yes, Benny, sleep well. Take care of yourselves. I want to see you again soon. But for now, so bye now. And I don't know if